What's happening? Because you know it's your boy B High Radio Shout and stepping in the building. I got a legendary hip-hop icon stepping off in this thing. Money be a digital underground. What's good with it, boss?
What's happening? How y'all doing?
Man, feeling good, feeling great in this thing, money. Now, first of all, man, I understand you got a new project you about to drop. You making moves through the A-Town. What's good with it, boss?
Man, I'm out here promoting a new project. And the project, it's called Analogue Wishes Digital Dreams.
Ooh.
And what it is, it's a content offering which comes on in the form of a fan tap to play card. You know how you have your credit card and you tap it to pay?
So you done brought your album straight from Silicon Valley.
Yeah, you tap this to your phone, it opens up a standalone platform that has a full album, videos, credits, images, links to discounts for merch, everything, all in this card.
Let's go there, money. I mean, what was it that made you go digital with it, sir?
Numbers, basically.
Yeah.
You know, you think about it, when you talk about artists that come from my time and my era,
yeah,
we do have a fan base,
yeah,
a support base. So why do I want to struggle on like a Spotify for 0.004 per stream? I gotta do 1 million streams to make a few grand.
Exactly.
Where I could sell you 100 of these and I'm good to go.
Come on now.
You know what I mean? And so this, for real Digital Underground Money B fans and supporters, this is a collector's item. So not only do you get the value of access to this platform, but it also serves as a membership card. So for in real life experiences. So you see me and you got this card, you're gonna get the goods. You know what I mean? You get discounts on merch. You get meet and greet opportunities. You know, if I'm at a bar and I see you and you got it, I might buy you a beer.
Come
Something
on
like
now.
that. You know what I mean?
The innovation of it all, though, money. I mean, what is it that puts you on that side of the spectrum when other OGs are trying to figure it out? Because obviously you trailblazing with this.
Well, you know, one thing that I've always done is try to. For one, you have to remain flexible and fluid in order for you to survive in any type of environment. You have to know how to adapt.
That's right.
Right. So I've never been one to fight new things.
Yeah.
You know, I probably did that when CDs first came out back in the day.
Yeah.
That was the last time.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what we gonna do with all my cassettes?
Exactly.
You feel me? But
I feel
after
you.
that, I'm like, yo, when something new happens, you know, you're not gonna put it back in the box.
Yeah.
So you might as well learn how to use it.
Exactly.
Right? Any technology. So, you know, I'm always looking and I've, you know, I don't think that I'll ever stop being a creator.
That's right.
Right?
That's
so,
right.
you know, we find and we search for ways to make what we have available to the people that want to have it.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
So this is direct to the consumer, to the fan.
Let me hold that.
Yeah. And not only, you know, for one, you see what the person that gets the card, what they get, but you as an artist or creator, you get that data. You know, when you put your stuff up on Spotify or on YouTube, they collect all of that data. They get the IP address. They get the information, the emails, the numbers.
Yeah.
They get all that information. They know how old the people are. They know if it's a man or a woman, all of that. With that, you get first person data. It all comes to you. So you can use it. So now that I have it, anything that I do moving forward, I'm gonna let you know about it. I can share it with you. I can send it to you directly. I can also hear you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you jump on and you tell me, hey man, that's the next single. Ooh. I could have a private Zoom call for members and be like, yo, what y'all think? Which one should I do? Or if I'm, you know, if I'm on tour, maybe I'll say like, you know, pick a song, and if I come to your city and you part of that group, I'll do that song for you.
Crazy. Now, I mean, Analogue Wishes Digital Dreams, though. What are we talking about on this project? What are you giving the fans this time,
That's why I was going to explain it to you. So, Analogue Wishes Digital Dreams, it comes from, you know, we came up, when we started, everything was analog. I come from the analog era, right? And throughout, you know, us Digital Underground and through digital technology, my dreams kind of came true.
Thanks.
You know, which was to be a part of the culture and to affect the culture as well. You know what I mean? So
it's crazy.
what I was, you know, my analog wishes became true, became my digital dreams came true. And so and why I called it this. So there's 10 new songs, right? So you get new, but in the form of video, in video and audio, I sort of share some of our journey of how I got here. Meaning, I tell you, I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
I have like an animated 2Pac story on here.
Crazy.
I have audio of me and Shock freestyling before the Humpty Dance came out. When we to do a 30-minute set, we had to just rock and freestyle and beatbox and all of that. And so I'm sharing that within this content offering. So if you're a real fan, you heard about it, but you actually get to hear it and see what it was like of us coming up. But then you also have 10 bangers. New joints.
Come on now. I mean, we gonna jump around in this thing because you got so many quotables that I'm gonna have to hit as well, sir. But I want to know, when did that music bug hit you? Did it bite you before Digital Underground?
Absolutely.
Or when and how?
And before we get to that, I also want to mention that on this album, I got Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony. I got Big Hutch from Above the Law. Guap Dad 4000. Razzcast. So, you know, my guys rocking with
Come on now. You doggone right.
So we talk about the beginning of how I got into it, right? I'm pretty sure my story's like a lot of people. Like, I grew up hearing music. You know, my parents always had music playing. Right? So, but I also had older cousins that when I was, you know, 10, 11, they was teenagers. And so I was rocking what they was rocking with, and that's when hip hop sort of hit the scene. You know, like obviously the first rap record I think I remember is Rapper's Delight, Shadell Gang, which I was hooked from there. But then when I would go to Philadelphia during the summers in New Jersey, they would take me out to the block parties, and I would hear all of that stuff. And you know, that just sparked my imagination.
Crazy. How did you meet Shock G, and how did y'all link up and form the Digital Underground?
Well, he had already formed Digital Underground.
Okay.
So Digital Underground, actually, the first record was Underwater Rhymes, which came out in 1988. At that time, myself and DJ Fuse, who's our DJ, we had our own group called Raw Fusion. And we were shopping and you know, doing the whole talent show circuit, just trying to get on.
That's right.
Right? Digital Underground needed a DJ because they were promoting this single. And there was a meeting set up, you know, mutual friends. And basically, DJ Fuse became the DJ, but he was like, yo, we a crew. So you gotta rock with us.
Okay.
You're gonna rock with us.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And so the first record that I appeared on was Do What You Like, which was in 1989. The very next year.
Talk to me about that Do What You Like.
That's when the group got real.
That was stuff started going crazy.
It
but
wasn't
when
real
Do
till
What
I got
You Like
there.
goes crazy, y'all going crazy with this. What was that like from going from Raw Fusion to Digital Underground? What was that whole transition like, joining the group and merging the groups together? And then when y'all get that first hit single, man, I mean, what was that experience like?
Well, I don't think that there wasn't a big, at least from my perspective, right? It wasn't really a big deal because it wasn't like the group we hadn't really taken off yet. So when we got with them, obviously Shock is a few years older than me. So I was the youngest, right? But we all had the same sort of like goal, the vision of make great music, right? And also, you know, Shock was wild, right? But I was wild too. You know, in a different way. Meaning you know, like some people would look at something and be like, man, that ain't how you supposed to do it. He wanted to do it a different way, and I was like, let's do it. A different way. You know what I mean? So I was with it, and all of us were kind of free thinking like that. You know, and that's what Digital Underground really was. It was a bunch of free thinkers.
Do What You Like going crazy though, man. I mean, what was that feeling like, hearing your song on the radio and seeing that movement going with it?
it was crazy because like I had a job, right? So a song is on the radio and I'm at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then even when we first went on tour, I wasn't sure what was gonna happen. So I had to ask my boss. I was like, "Yo, I gotta leave when I get back. Is it cool?"
Come back, yeah.
And he was okay because he was a private business that he owned.
Yeah.
And I was able to come back. So even when we were doing these original tours, when I came back, I went back to work. And then I just remember being at work and. You know, at work we used to have like a radio and a cassette, so I used to play my things, right? But one day I'm at work and Humpty Dance is on the radio, and my guy was like, "Yo, Ryan, I should join on the thing, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it is." You know what I mean? But for me, I knew Humpty Dance was different.
Yeah,
and it was because the next time we went, how you say, the chauffeur drove off and it never came back.
Damn right.
That was it.
Being on that road early on, man, getting into that music industry, was it everything that you envisioned it to be, or was it a little bit more wilder?
The crazy part about that is I never had any expectations. So what it was just what it was. I didn't think it was going to be anything greater or anything less than what it was.
Yeah.
What I did, even from the beginning, I always felt like I belonged. So I was where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't like a shock, like, oh my God, I'm here. It's like, all right, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
What was the energy in hip hop back then, though? Because see, at this time, it's not pop music yet. I mean, these are some of the early stages as well.
Right.
So what was that energy like, having that niche market and audience going from city to city and pushing this thing that we call hip hop?
Well, the biggest difference is because back then, hip hop wasn't a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? So what it was still a community, meaning that when we went on the road, like, so let me put it this way: I'm on tour, and the lineup on the tour is Public Enemy, Digital Underground, Heavy D, Kid and Play, and Kwame, and then, if we came to Atlanta, Pastor Troy, or we was in Miami, is Tupac. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't big enough to where we could be segregated.
Yeah.
Oh, I only listen to trap. I only listen to this. I only listen to that. Oh, I don't fool with that kind of.
Come on.
It was just hip hop. So and we all had to, when we were on the road, we had to look out for each other because, when we went out on these big tours, if we fucked that up, we fucking it up for everybody else that's trying to do it. So we had a responsibility, not only just when we're on the road to take care of each other and to be safe, right? But also we have to protect this culture that we're trying to grow.
Exactly.
And we had a responsibility. It's just, like now, like I said, it's because hip hop has grown, but now it's so segregated. It's people that don't listen to something like, so for instance, my guys that I'm with right now, Men's and them, they're from New York. Like, we're in the truck, they playing shit I never heard before. But it's dope. But I never heard it because if you're over here, you're not gonna hear it.
Come on.
And I'm sure if I'm somewhere out here, if I'm out tonight, I'm gonna hear stuff here that I don't hear. There's so much of it, right? Which is great, but I just don't agree with people that turn off something else just by hearing. Like, I don't listen to that.
Exactly.
Like, for me, I'm a fan of good music. So I don't care if it's a country song or if it's a rock or trap, boom bap. If it sounds good, then I'm gonna check it out and I'm gonna give it its props.
But what about the content, though, the fun content? I mean, just moving the culture forward at the same time, too, with the music. I mean, how did y'all determine what kind of content y'all would be putting out there for the people to consume?
I think we were being ourselves.
Okay.
So it wasn't, I was telling the story the other day. Initially, Shock wanted us to be like a militant, almost like a Public Enemy group. But then Public Enemy came out, and back then you couldn't
bite nobody's style.
You was a biter if you you couldn't be like somebody else. You had to have your own thing.
Exactly.
Right? You know, now everybody's, you don't know who's
the same person.
Everybody sound like you could sound like one record for 4 hours.
What you're talking about.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Like, well, what is this? So, but back then you couldn't.
Yeah.
You had to be original. So when that happened, then it was just really about, you know, letting our personalities be what it was. And that's why it was so easy and so free, because we didn't decide, and we didn't have a thing that we needed to do.
Exactly.
We just did what we like.
Come on now. I mean, coming out of the Bay with it though for you, man. I mean, what role did the Black Panthers play in, you know, shaping you?
Well, it's crazy that you said that, is because my father was actually in the Black Panther Party, and I grew up in that. So I went to the Oakland Community School. I was a part of the first free lunch and free breakfast program.
My God.
And all of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'll show you a picture, which is wild. I just showed my guy.
Yeah.
This is Huey P. Newton actually giving me my diploma when I graduated from that school.
That's crazy as hell.
Wow, right?
Come on, man. Come on now, Money. I mean, well, obviously you got a chance to talk to Huey P. What was it like being around a guy like that at that time?
Well, you know, I was young.
Yeah.
And when he would come to the school, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Right. And then a lot of, for many years too, he was also locked up.
Yeah.
So I remember we would go to his trials.
Yeah.
And support it, and, you know, visit and all of that. But when he was out and he did come to the school, it was a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, for your father to be a part of the movement as well, though, I mean, what did he instill in you, and how did he feel about the movement at the time, having to fight the power?
Well, it's crazy because, you know, I always tell people, like, back, you know, as a child, I didn't know about the Black Panther Party, but all I knew was the Black Panther Party. So I didn't know that there was another way.
Yeah.
I just thought the way that I was being raised was the way that that you get raised.
Yeah.
Meaning that later on in life, when, I don't know if you remember, like the late 80s, when everybody was wearing the black medallion and African chains and all of that, and I never really got into it, right?
Yeah.
Because I was just like, okay, what? But then I found out that what it was is it was a lot of college-aged kids that were just learning about their blackness.
Yeah.
But I was always taught
immersed in it. Yeah.
Yes, because I read Malcolm X when I was in 4th grade or 5th grade. You know what I mean? I knew about Marcus Garvey.
Yeah.
Like, I was raised knowing about black people and about what it was and everything.
Exactly.
I didn't know that other people didn't know that. So it was kind of a trip to me.
Exactly.
You know, and even you know, because people, and I'm pretty sure it'll come up, but I'm gonna go right to it.
Yeah.
You know, Tupac, his mother was in the Black Panther Party, but his mom, she was a New York Panther. My dad was in Oakland. They didn't know each other during the time, and so people were like, "Is that why y'all?" Me and Tupac didn't sit around having conversations about it, but I understood where he was coming from. Like, he didn't have to explain it. It wasn't to hear his messaging wasn't shocking. It wasn't the first time I had heard it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
was about that life as well.
Exactly, yes. I knew what he was talking about, and
Exactly.
I understood where he was coming from because I was raised the same way.
I mean, when it came time for Same Old Song, but before that, I mean, how did Tupac even get down with the movement early on? And when you saw him, was this somebody that you thought would go along to revolutionize hip-hop as well? Yeah,
if you listen to his first album, it was mostly that.
Yeah.
Tupacalypse Now.
Yeah.
And he was, you know, his first music was more socially conscious.
Yeah.
And he was in a group called Strictly Dope with Ray Love, who had a solo career.
Yeah.
And their DJ Diz. And they were signed to TNT Records, which was the same label and management that Digital Underground was signed to. And that's how we met him.
Okay.
And then, you know, that group broke up, but Tupac was retained as a solo artist. And while they were shopping for his deal, you know, Atron, who's our manager, asked, could we bring him along
Yeah.
on tour. Now he was already part of the collective. You know, we knew him, and we were hanging. You know, he was already part of the crew, but he wasn't in the group at the time. But then we brought him along, and then that's when he officially became a member of the group.
It's crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy. I mean, same song, man. Putting that banger together. What was that like? Give me that studio session.
So that was for the movie Nothing But Trouble, right? The soundtrack.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because Shock, like I still have the cassette of the demo that he sent me, and it's like, this is what you guys are gonna be rapping and all of this. And so he's like, yeah, and then 2Pac, you're gonna go right there.
Yeah.
And all of that. And I just remember when we recorded it, me and Pac would always argue about who had the best verse.
Yeah, I can understand
You know
that.
what I mean?
Talk to me.
Well, you know what I thought. For real.
Seeing a young Pac at that time, before I get into Pac, though, I want to talk more about your relationship with Shock G, man, and just the digital underground as well. I mean, the creative process and the thought process going into all of that music at that time. Where were you at with it, and what were some of your main contributions that you felt like, you know what, Money B just came in here and got his stuff off the day?
Oh, as far as making that first album?
Yeah.
So the way that we would do it, obviously it was Shock's vision that we followed, that blueprint, right? But you know, there was a couple of beats, like the beat to Packet Man, right? That originally, he made that beat for his answer machine. And you know, I was over his crib, and it was playing. I was like, what you doing with that? And he was like, no, I don't know, you know, I'll probably give it to another one of our collective. He was gonna give it away. I was like, nigga, put that. I was like, put that on the. You should put that on the record.
Exactly.
And he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even on the songs that I appear on, like Freaks of the Industry, and you know, I did me and Fuse did the hooks on the Humpty Dance.
Yeah.
You know, just me being the youngest and probably of all of us, the one that was closely connected to hip hop at its core. You know, whereas Shock, he's a musician.
Yeah.
He's in the funk parliament.
Yeah.
You know, Chai Master Jay, his dad was a jazz musician. He comes from that world.
Yeah.
Fuse, hip hop, he was a DJ.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was the guy to be like, that's whack. Like, let's do it like that. You know what I mean? He running past me for the hip hop sort of opinion.
Exactly.
Like, is that gonna fly?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, that's gonna
go.
go.
Yeah.
Like that. You know how it is, because we always go to the whoever
the connoisseur.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, whoever the guy is. Like
Exactly.
like now, I ask my nephews and them like,
Exactly.
what's up with this?
You ain't
Just
never
like that.
lied with that. So now we looking at Digital Underground. 2Pac comes in. Y'all are going crazy, traveling the world, man. I mean, at that point in time in hip hop, what was that feeling like? Selling out arenas, doing shows, radio play, and MTV and BET play at the same time.
Man, it was the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah, it like I said, it felt good, and I will only say, and I get it because I see it happening, is that when it happens to you at such a young age, you don't realize it, you know, and then when it starts to go away, that's when you're like, oh man,
it was going down.
It was going right. So you know, my problem is that so we were probably at our height at like around 93.
Yeah.
Right. So you know, like I said, that was the height of us, and then you know, I Get Around came out, and that kind of prolonged it for a little while, but then it starts to go down. But when you think about a career, right? So we rocking for like, you know, 4 or 5, 6 years, however long we running, and now it's starting to go away. But I'm only 25 years old. I'm thinking I'm thinking, what am I going to do with the rest of my life, right?
Crazy.
And at that young, you think it seems
like it's gonna last forever.
Yeah, and then when it doesn't, then it seems tragic until you realize, like it, you know, like I said, I was 24, 25. It wasn't probably until I was 26, 27 till I understood, like, you know what, life goes on. It's not over. Let's, you can keep rocking.
Talk to me about the mental health behind it all then, Money B, because at that time, I mean, was it an abrupt ending or was it a gradual fade?
It was a gradual fade, but like I said, we did the Body Hat Syndrome, which was the last record we did with Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
And then they dropped us, right? And you thinking, okay, well, what's the next label?
Yeah.
And that didn't happen right away.
Yeah.
So now, but we're still doing shows and things like that, but then when that's not happening as much, because now the shows aren't in arenas anymore.
Yeah.
It's clubs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it can mess with you, especially when you're that young. So I could imagine, like, say, a child star.
Yeah.
When they grow up and then they had it all that early, and now it's not there anymore. And people look at you like, oh, man, I remember you used to. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I mean, do you feel like y'all handed the baton off to 2Pac, though, with that I Get Around?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because, like I said, remember he made I Get Around, which that beat originally was the Digital Underground beat.
Exactly.
That Shock gave him.
Yeah.
But he asked us to be on it, which sort of like, it prolonged, it kept us out there a little bit longer.
Exactly.
But like you said, it was him going that
on his way.
Right. And so, I don't know if we say we catapulted him, but it was, for us, it was gratifying to see him going that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, sending your guy off to college.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's your time.
Yeah, it's your time. Like, go get it.
When you first met him, though, do you recall during those times and what kind of person he was? And did you believe that he would go off to have the impact that he wound up having?
There's no way you can know that somebody's going to become.
Okay. I feel that.
He couldn't tell you. He was, as confident as he was, he could not know that.
Yeah.
That there are villages in Africa that claim him,
Crazy.
Tupac tribe.
Exactly.
And all of that, right? He became he's a martyr.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, there's no way that you could know that. What we all knew is that he was talented and that he from day one, he just had this charisma about him. Like, if he was in the room, you knew he was in the room.
Yeah.
Like, he just commanded attention.
Yeah.
In that way. We also knew that he was wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he came from a wild situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's one of the things, even back then, jokingly, our manager at one time was like, so what you think? Because remember, like I said, I was a young guy, so they would run those questions past me. Is this going to work or whatever? Yeah. And jokingly, I was like, yeah, if he stay alive long enough.
Damn.
I swear I said that.
Yeah.
Back then.
So he was that crazy back then that y'all
He was crazier back then. Like, by the time y'all knew who he was, he had calmed down a little bit.
Wait a minute, no.
For real.
So what was he doing back then that made you say that?
Well, because he didn't have anything. So all he had was his respect and his name. And he wasn't going to let you, that wasn't negotiable.
Exactly.
So he wasn't taking no, he was
no stuff off of nobody.
Yeah.
You say what you want to say again, Money B. We here for it all.
Okay, yeah.
I Get Around, though, Money. You stole the song, sir.
Hey,
when you heard that track, did you and Pac have to go back and forth again over who had the best verse on that one as well?
No. This is what happened. So like I said, we had the track. We knew it was dope. We didn't want to fuck it up.
Yeah.
So then Pac's album was due. And he's like, he called Shock, was like, oh, I need some tracks.
Yeah.
Shock sent him some tracks, and he said, yeah, this is one beat that we got that nobody ain't did nothing with it yet.
Yeah.
And he had actually gave it to Saphir previously.
Yeah.
And he took it from Saphir and gave it to Tupac.
Okay.
Which was a thing too. But but at the time, Pac was living in LA. He had moved.
Yeah.
And so when he asked us to be on it, he booked the session, and I almost missed the session. I forgot. I was supposed to be there.
Money.
Yeah, I'm riding around drinking, kicking it. It was a nice day.
Yeah, exactly.
I had the top down, all that stuff. And my guy was like, hey, you're supposed to be in the studio. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. So I had him drive while I'm writing on the way up. Now.
That's how you felt in the car on the way there?
Yeah. So listen, so we get there, but this is how prepared Pac was.
Yeah.
He wanted us on the song enough to where he wrote the whole song. So he wrote a verse for me.
Yeah.
He wrote a verse for Shock, just in case we didn't have time to write.
Yeah.
He's like, y'all can say this.
Yeah.
So Shock's verse, 2Pac wrote the original version of it.
Wow.
Shock adjusted it.
Yeah.
But Pac wrote that.
It's crazy.
Right? And then the verse he wrote for me, that verse actually, if you go and you listen to on Death Row Records, it's called the I Get Around remix.
Yeah.
All they did was they just took my verse and used the verse that Pac originally laid for it. And he's like, my fofo, make sure your kids don't. I was like, I'm not saying that shit. I was like, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So I wrote my verse, and then Shock actually produced my vocals, meaning I wrote my verse, but he was like, well, say it smoother right here. Don't say that. I probably had a few cuss words in it.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, let's clean it up. And I was like, yeah, but we could do it on the clean. He's like, no, let's just make the version.
Yeah.
Fuck the clean and the dirty. And he's like, let's just make the version.
Yeah.
Let's do it now. And he actually produced my vocals because he had me say things in a certain way.
Yeah.
It was the same. Like I said, it was my verse.
Yeah.
But he helped me. If he wasn't there, it would have sounded slightly different. I would say that. But then after I laid it, Pac calls me, and he's like, yo, did you go to the studio? Did you do it?
Yeah.
And I was like, nigga, I just killed you on your own song. And I left it at that. Yeah. And he's like, nah, fuck you, nigga. I was like, all right, I'm telling you. And then after I heard it, I was like, you heard it?
Yeah.
He's like, man, fuck you. Man. I was like, all right, that's what I thought.
Now, I feel you. But how do you feel to this day, though, Money B, when that song is still in full rotation to this day? You gonna hear it in the world getting played, and you're still getting it off every doggone day in today's hip hop as well.
Well, that's what I mean by, when I said like I was able to affect culture, meaning that song is never gonna. When I'm gone, that song will still be here. There will be people listening to that until we can't listen anymore. The same way that you listen to Marvin Gaye and you listen to Stevie Wonder and Mike Jack, you're gonna hear I Get Around in that mix.
Crazy.
You understand? So for me, our job is done.
Yeah.
We did it. So no matter what I do moving forward, I don't care if I don't sell one of these. I did that.
You did that.
Right.
You're damn right.
That's you can't take that away.
Nah,
we did make the Humpty Dance. We made the same song. We made I Get Around. These are staples in our culture now.
That's right.
That, regardless, even if you don't know my name, you hear my voice.
Oh, they know it. I mean, when you got to shooting that All Eyes on Me movie about Pac, and then you said, you know what, I still look good. I'm about to go ahead and play my damn self in here.
Right? That's right.
Talk to me about that. What was going through your mind when you realized it was time for the 2Pac biopic and that you would be, bringing your whole flavor to it as well and contributing to it?
Shout out to LT Hutton, because he had been working on trying to put that together for a long time. And he would tell me, he's like, bro, I'm having you play you.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Because as a formality, he had me go to an audition, which I ain't gonna hold you. I can't act like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm reading lines, and I could see, just like how we hear cameras is on me, but it's bunch of white people standing around looking at me, and I could feel myself bombing because I wasn't doing well. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Let me just tell y'all a story.
Yeah.
That way I just became myself.
Yourself.
Not trying to act or play a part.
Exactly.
Because I was going to be playing me anyway.
Yourself. Yeah.
So I just was like, let me tell y'all something. And I just told a story, and then it was like, yeah.
Was it nostalgic being on that set, and how did you feel? Was that an eerie feeling, playing yourself and reliving those moments again?
It was crazy because they recreated those sets to look exactly like when we was in the studio.
Yeah.
That's exactly how Starlight Studios
Crazy.
looked, in a sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some of the other sets, like they recreated these moments.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was there.
Come
so
on.
anybody to tell you different, bro, that was really how it looked. You know?
When you think about being there for those time periods and stuff like that, man, what goes through your mind, man? Are you thinking to yourself, I mean, I can't believe we was doing this much legendary stuff at that time?
I mean, you don't know while you live in it.
Yeah.
Right? So you just look back and be like, wow, that's cool.
But that's what I'm saying. When you look and you recollect it all, though, how do you view yourself now looking back at it 2020?
I'm cognizant, like I know that we did what we did.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, you know, like for me, me being a great human is more important than any of that other stuff that I did. Right? So I say that to say is, as much as you like what I've done, I think that you like me more in person.
Yeah.
Because of, you know what I mean?
I feel you on that.
You know, and that's that. Now if you don't like my music, you still might like me as a person.
Yeah.
And that doesn't bother me either. So like I said, I'm aware and I know what we did.
Yeah.
Right? But if you don't know what I did, I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What's up with the love with 2Pac? That joint, how did y'all put that one together? Because that was a real thought-provoking song right there, sir.
It was, and what's so crazy about that song is it taught me a lesson too.
Yeah.
That song, that melody, Shock used to play that when I first met him. Right?
Yeah.
And he used to always just because he's a piano player.
That's right.
So when we be in hotels in the lobby, he'd get on the piano and he'd start playing it.
Yeah.
And I used to always ask him, like, what you gonna do with that?
Yeah.
And he always go like, I don't know. And he'd be like, you know, and where it got to where, you know, a few years later, I'd be like, bro, play the thing I like.
Yeah.
It was just a thing I used to like to hear him play.
Yeah.
Fast forward 5-6 years later, we do that song and he used that melody. But it was something, he said, when the right song comes to me, I'm gonna use it. So what I learned from that is that, you know, if you make timeless music or if you have a timeless idea, it doesn't matter when it comes out. Because when it does come out, if it's as good as you think it is, or if the idea is that great, no matter when I do it, it's gonna be new to you and it's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Because he, like I said, I first heard him play that melody in '88.
Yeah.
And we didn't do the song until '94.
Woo! That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And that was the last in-studio song I believe that 2Pac recorded with us.
Shed so many tears when Shock G produced that one, man. What was going through your mind when you heard that track and then Pac got on that thing and went off?
That's my favorite 2Pac record.
Yeah. Mine too. It's one of my favorites too.
It is my favorite.
Yeah.
I felt it. And then that album, to me, Me Against the World, is his best album. It's because it's the most complete.
Yeah.
Produced sonically, the concept. And when I heard that song, I felt it. You know what I mean? I could hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
Because he really was going through some shit.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Everything that was going on around him. And you can't, when we talk about mental health, bro, he was living for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it was a lot. It was heavy. And to be, at that time, 23, 24.
Yeah.
He was like literally taking care of families.
Heavy as the head that, wears the crown, man. I mean, at that time, when you're looking back on those years, it's all of y'all being young men. What were some of the things that you felt like you didn't understand back then that you wish you would have?
Publishing.
No, I feel that.
Because everybody else like, well, what would you do different?
Yeah.
I was like, man, I would have been on all them 2Pac songs.
Yeah.
Because I was in the studio with him.
So you weren't jumping on the songs, you were just relaxing and kicking it?
Yeah, because we was all working on our own things, and our sessions would bleed together.
Yeah.
So if you go back and listen to 2Pac Lips now, I'm on a lot of, I do like background. Anytime that I need somebody to go, oh, or whatever the fuck. Yeah. That's why I did what's it called? Brenda's Got a Baby.
Yeah.
That's your problem. I just happened to be there. You know what I mean? And how that song came together organically.
Yeah.
Even because Dave Hollister was there with me.
Yeah.
And Ranice, the people that sung on that record.
Yeah.
We were just there having a good time, and then they started doing that in the background. He's like, could y'all do that thing? And he's like, yo, come on, say that. And that's how it would happen.
My God.
And 2Pac, he was always the type that if you had something, he'd be like, go spit it.
Yeah.
He'll let you do it. Now, that doesn't mean he'll keep it.
Yeah.
But he'll let you do it. You know what I'm saying? Or he'll say like, hey, what y'all got?
Yeah.
But if you didn't have something, meaning if he said, I want you on this verse, you took too long, he was going to move on. Yeah. Because he was quick.
When you speak of Brenda's Got a Baby, though, man, was that an idea that he came to the studio with, or were you there for the whole conception of it all?
No, he read an article.
Yeah.
That was a true story.
Yeah.
That he read about. And I don't know if you've seen, they actually found the actual kid that song is about. But he had read an article, and it resonated with him when he was in New York, and he wrote that song.
Yeah.
But he had the song written.
Yeah.
Right. Big D, one of my childhood friends who produced the track, actually put them together. That was his DJ too. And he had the beat, but if you go back and listen to Brenda's Got a Baby, it's just one verse. That's all he had. Yeah. Right. He didn't have a hook or nothing. All of that came would just happen organically that day while we were there.
Did you feel like y'all were making some classical music at that time, though? I mean, when you go in there, you say, you know what, that's up to Brenda's family. Did you know that those few bars right there were going to stand the test of time themselves?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't. I liked it.
Okay. So what is the vibe when you know that the music is about to stand the test of time, though? Now looking back on it, what would be the ingredients for a studio session to create Brenda's Got a Baby, or Shed So Many Tears, or I Get Around? I
think it just it happens. Like if we knew the formula, we would make 1 million of them, right?
Yeah.
We would make them every time we go. Yeah. You just don't know. Yeah. But when you hear it, you know it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you hear it and know it, and it still doesn't happen. Yeah. For instance, What's Up with the Love is one of my favorite songs that we did, but it didn't blow. It didn't go platinum as a single. It was probably one of the lesser known of our singles. Because I see people now and they were like, "What? Pac was on that?" And I was like, "Bro, what you mean? That shit was rocking." But so you go in with the same intention and hope that you're making something of value, and then. Now, when I say you can, so let's use What's Up with the Love as an example. What happened was that was right around the time that we were getting dropped from Tommy Boy, so it wasn't promoted. It wasn't marketed. I believe if it would have been, it could have been one of our bigger records. But some records also happen organically, like Freaks of the Industry. That was never a single. Yeah. But that became one of our biggest songs.
Yeah.
And then you have like the Humpty Dance. I have the 4-track version of that, and I knew as soon as I heard the 4-track, I was like, "We out of here." I was like, "Bro, I knew it." My God. So it can happen so many different ways.
Exactly.
You never know.
When you start to see Pac drop that Me Against the World, and now he's on his upward trajectory, what were the changes that you were starting to notice in him around that time, as far as just confidence and just interactions?
Well, like I said. That album, Me Against the World, to me is his best produced album. And to me, it felt like he was maturing musically. Yeah. Before when he rapped, he'd layer it with 6 different vocals, and he was starting to let, you could hear more of his emotion and almost like he was, I don't know, you know how somebody is always moving quick, but then you see somebody that just move at their own pace.
Yeah.
He settled into it, to me, where he started to settle into the music.
Yeah.
And it was more character song to song, as opposed to sounding like the same guy on every track.
Yeah.
And just rapping, like you just trying to get it off.
Yeah.
Now you really leaning into it, telling the story, and being
Yeah.
confident. You can hear the smokiness in your voice.
Yeah.
And for different, almost like you can hear the emotion in it more. And so that's what I believe that gave us, you know. And then, you know, Dear Mama, which became the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
And that's when he became a superstar.
Okay, Shock G. I want to talk about the chemistry that all of y'all had together. I mean, what was it about Shock and his production style that allowed people to really get their, you know, creativity going?
You know, Shock was a true composer.
Yeah.
And a real producer. Meaning, you know, I was talking about this last night, but you know, you get a beat and it's just a 4-bar loop.
Yeah.
Sample. And then, you know, I put 16 bars on it and maybe a hook and call it a day.
Yeah.
Shock would play, he would compose, and then he would build around his composition. As opposed to saying, here's 16, give me a verse. He'd do it and be like, yo, I need 3 bars here. All right, say something right here.
Yeah.
Now, no, sing it slowly right here, underneath me.
Yeah.
Give me an ad-lib of that. And then I would say, well, let me try this.
Yeah.
And anything I wanted to try, he'd let, you know, if you wanted to try something, he'd let you try it.
Yeah.
Once again, if he didn't like it, he'd take it off. But a lot of times that's how we collaborated.
Yeah.
I was like, well, let me try something right here. So he'll come with the idea, basic, but he wasn't rigid to where he wasn't open to it not ending up the way that he originally planned it.
Yeah.
You know, let's get in, let's vibe, and see what we do.
When it came to Tupac's career, I mean, when you saw him go to prison in the middle of it, you know, Me Against the World is going crazy, but now he's doing time. What was going through your mind at that time as a friend and somebody that's known him from the beginning of his career?
It was a rough time because, like I said, when he was in jail, that was, like I said, that was around the time that our trajectory was going down.
Yeah.
So now, you know, the money's not coming in like it was.
Yeah.
So he's in jail, but he's in New York. I want to visit him, but I ain't got the money to go out there to go do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't see him, and to be totally honest with you, I didn't even write him because I ain't had nothing good to write about. You feel me?
I feel you.
I was fucked up. And that's probably one of the things, you know, there's not too many things that I regret, but I do look back on it and like, I felt like if I could do it over again, I would have written him.
Yeah.
Because I didn't write him, even though I wanted to, but I didn't feel like I had anything of value to share at that time. So I didn't. And I wish that I would have.
When he came home, was he a different person?
As much as anybody would be, you know, our experiences shape us. So if you went to jail, you'd be a different person.
Yeah.
You know, if you get shot, you're gonna become a different person.
Yeah.
If you get robbed, or if you know, that's what makes us who we are our experiences.
Yeah.
Experiences. So obviously, you know, that he was still the same person to me.
Yeah.
But yes, you are a little more guarded, and you move a different way. And then it's who you're moving with. You know, so I can't really say that he changed that much, but the people that he moved around with changed.
Yeah.
And his environment changed, and, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you and Shock G, I mean, what was y'all relationship like? What was y'all relationship like after, you know, I Get Around has done its thing and, you know, y'all kind of trying to figure out what the next move is? What were those conversations like?
Well, we continued the tour.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because then we did do a few more albums after that. So we did, we did album in 96 and then 98. I think Who Got the Gravy, I think it came out in 98. And then we did one more studio album. So we still recorded and would work, but we became more of a touring band than we were of a recording. So just from our catalog, we toured all throughout from late 90s all the way through the 2000s. We toured consistently.
And see, that's what I wanted to ask you about as well, man. Right. Being able to see the world touring, what was that like coming out of the Bay and next thing you know you're overseas?
It was everything. Like, unless you can see the world and see things from different perspectives and different opinions about things, you really don't know. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, somebody that's never left Atlanta don't know that is more than Atlanta. If it, and I know people that don't leave East Oakland.
Yeah.
They don't even go to West Oakland. They just right there. So to them, what's happening in that little radius is everything. But there's more to it.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm thankful that I was able to see the world. Like I was just telling my guys, I was in Berlin when the Berlin Wall came down.
Okay, now.
That day. And they was like, you want to go get a piece of this wall? And I was like, nah, I'm trying to get a piece of something else right now. And I didn't go.
Yeah.
But we went past it, though.
Yeah.
We saw it. That's what I'm saying. And so everybody can't say that.
Ain't nobody saying that, man. I saw it on TV, I recall.
Bro, I was there.
What was going through your mind when the wall was coming down, and what were y'all doing over there at that time?
We had a show. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We had a show that night, and we driving, and everything's going crazy, and there's fires, and we like, what is going on? And they was like, yo, the wall came down. You want to go? So we went past it, and everybody was climbing up on the thing and all of that.
How does all of that traveling change your perspective of life once you touch back down in America?
Well, it does. It gives you a different perspective. You meaning that, the opinions of these 10 people that live on your block is not the end-all opinion.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
when you learn other cultures and things like that, you respect other, you have more respect for things.
Yeah.
I would say. And like, just because we don't do it this way don't mean that it's not the right way, or it's not this is just how they do it here.
That's right.
You understand?
That's right.
And I've always moved around in a way that, because growing up, I traveled a lot, from Oakland to the East Coast, back and forth to Philly. My family's from Philadelphia originally.
Okay.
And so I would fly. So I was always traveling.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like I was being raised to do what
get prepared.
do what I do.
Yeah.
So traveling wasn't even a big deal to me, because I had been used to flying my whole life, and moving around. And was talking about the
perspectives of it all.
Yeah. So that being said, even in the United States, everywhere I went, I always felt like I gave that place its proper respect. Meaning, some people be like, "Oh man, I'm from Oakland. I'm here." And,
ain't nobody shit, and I'm from Oakland. Everywhere I go.
Indiana, It's like, nah, there's a Oakland in Indiana too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying?
You don't want to find out the hard way.
Yeah, so I always like, I'm rocking with everything, never going like, oh, where I'm from is this and this ain't that. Nah, it's like, I'm here, let me learn about how I work here.
Exactly.
And you guys are the guys.
Now, 2Pac passes away, man.
Mm-hmm.
What goes through your mind at that time, Money? I mean, what was y'all relationship like at that time as well? And was this something that you sensed was on the horizon?
So at the time, I think, one of the last times, or the last time I saw him, he had already recorded All Eyes on Me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, bro, you didn't put me on there. He was like, you should have came down. Everybody just came down. I was like, well, how you know? Yeah. Right? And then I told him at the time, I said, I was like, I don't know about this. But I like telling him, like, What it was is on that album in real time when I first heard it, it felt I hadn't heard him be that almost like vindictive, like this is vitriol that he was spitting.
Yeah.
Like usually if he has songs like that, he had a Brenda's Got a Baby or something, a balance.
Yeah.
This was all, like that. And I was just like, he was like, oh no, I'm gonna get back to it. He's like, I already got like 7 albums already done.
Yeah.
So even at that time, he had albums already completed, and he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna do all of that, and then we get together and da 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 da.
Yeah.
Right. And that was it. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
I didn't talk to him again.
When you saw him beefing with Biggie and all of that hell breaking loose, I mean, just watching that escalate, what was going through your mind at that time as well?
I thought it was unfortunate because I know him and Biggie were really, really good friends.
Yeah.
And it's kind of complicated, but in a blanket statement, I'll say Big really didn't have that much to do with it.
Yeah.
And where they should have been able to work it out. Meaning because Pac was mad at Big for what he didn't do, not for what he thought he did.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that Big could have did anything to stop what was going on.
Yeah.
And that's really what it all boils down to.
I feel that.
But once Pac decides, you on that side.
You on that side?
You on that side,
Yeah.
and that's what happened.
All Eyes on Me, the movie, you and Shock G together again in there. What were those conversations like between you and Shock reliving those things together?
Well, Chris Clark played Shock in the movie.
Yeah.
And Chris Clark is actually in Digital Underground. He's Young Hump. So, and the people from the movie didn't even know that we were
crazy.
Digital Underground playing Digital Underground in the movie.
My God.
All right.
My God. What was Shock saying? What was Young Hump saying?
So this is what happened, and so that you also get it, because I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Shock mentored Chris Young Hump to play that role.
Okay.
So
Bet.
they worked on it together.
But
so
no,
he was a part of it as well.
But no, I'm talking about just y'all talking about y'all lives, because this is not just Tupac's story. This is y'all's story as well.
Exactly.
So I'm saying from that standpoint, what were the conversations like? Like, hey man, I'm reliving my life story out here. It's about to hit the big screen and let these folks see where we came from at the same time.
I was saying that the whole time. That portion of the movie.
Yeah.
They basically, I had like a what do you call it? A role of what do you call it when you like advise, like?
Okay, yeah, advise or shoot. I don't.
Yeah. The word is I'm missing the word right now.
Yeah.
But I was, they were like, did it look like this? I was like, yeah, it did.
Okay, a reference, and I know what you saying.
Yeah. So they were running it past me to authenticate what it really felt and looked like. And so as much as I could help do that, I did, and they listened to what I was saying, and to the best that they could, they would make it as much as how I said it was as they could. And I believe that they, I know that it wasn't just unique to me, so I'm saying like they tried their best to make it as
authentic as
possible, and I believe that they did for the most part. A lot of it, as far as the look.
When you watched it on the big screen, how did you feel about it?
Well, I went to a few of the screenings, so I saw it, and I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was good, but I also understand why a lot of people didn't think it was good. Meaning that, when you do a movie, like you only have 3 hours.
Yeah.
Pac did so much, and you kind of have to trying to crunch it all in. You're not going to be able to do that.
That's right.
And then also, because Pac is so revered it's never going to be good enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jesus could have played Pac, and he wasn't going to be right.
Oh, still pissed off.
Yeah, they was going to be mad no matter what.
That's crazy.
And that, and that's just what it is. That's the reality of it. So, I thought it was good. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
But I don't take offense to people's opinion of why they thought it wasn't, because in some instances, they are right.
Yeah.
They're like, man, how you gonna try to tell, you didn't even talk about this and that and that. But the funny part is when cats say, oh, that didn't happen. And I'll be like, bro.
What else?
Exactly. Telling me that it didn't happen. I'm like,
they love to do that.
Yeah. People tell me what I didn't do all the time. I was like, for real?
What do you think was some of the common misconceptions about Digital Underground that people don't know and understand to this day?
That's a good one, because I don't know.
What is something that you would want them to know about Digital Underground that's not as put to the forefront as much as everything else? Similar to what's up with the love.
I just want, I try to as much as I'm able to, I try to let people, or at least hope that people realize the genius of a musician that Shock really was.
Yeah.
Where Prince called him. You know what I mean?
What was that conversation like when Prince hit up Shock?
I mean, he hit up Shock, and him and Pee Wee, they went out there and worked with him, and they did the remix. So if Prince is calling you,
exactly, you the real deal.
You one of those guys. You know what I mean? Where to me, one of the greatest producers of our time right now in hip hop is DJ Quick.
That's
and
right.
When we recorded with Quick, we went to stayed at his house, and for the first few days, all Quick wanted to do was pick Shock's brain. And
crazy.
Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I always say, Shock G is your favorite producer's producer.
Damn right.
You don't know about it.
Exactly.
If you were a real producer, you know the genius that Shock was.
Facts. When Shock passed, how did that impact you though, Money B?
It was hard. It's I always tell people, it's like, just with Pac, with Shock, when a family member passes, how does that feel?
Terrible.
That's how it feels.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make
away.
it different that they were famous or that they had this talent.
Yeah.
It's a family member passes away.
Yeah.
Meaning, no matter if you have siblings or, you guys can fight, get into it, not speak for a little while. But if they pass away, that was my sister or my brother.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And then all of that goes away instantly. So, that's basically what it is.
What was your relationship with Shock at the time when he passed?
At the time, there was probably a period of about a couple of years where we weren't really seeing eye to eye on things, right? And, he had his own things that he had going on, right? But what I'm happiest about, at that time, we had started talking again. And he had started to basically I'm not gonna say he agreed with what I was saying, but he acknowledged that what I was saying was okay. You know what I mean? So then the last few times that we did talk, because it's always about business, right?
That's right.
So the last couple of times that I did talk to him, and if I'm gonna be totally honest, if something had happened to Shock, I wouldn't have been surprised. You know what I mean? Meaning, how you're like, okay, my guy's not well. So what I decided was, when I did talk to him the last few times, nothing about business.
Yeah.
I just wanted to talk to him.
Yeah.
And we had great conversations because it wasn't about business. We were just talking about us.
Yeah.
And that's what, and I'm so glad that I was able to do that, because the same way, like I say, I regret not writing Pac. If I hadn't done that, then that would be my greatest regret.
Exactly.
That we didn't have
talk.
We didn't just talk.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We sat on the phone, and I want to say I talked to him for like 2 hours, just talking.
My God. What are the commonalities between a 2Pac, a Shock G, and a Money B that allowed all of y'all to be great at what y'all were doing?
I think it's being, we all had the same like drive, and there's this genius, you know what I mean, like a mad scientist, genius part of it, right?
Yeah.
To where Shock was when it's time to mix, quiet, don't fuck with him, and he could hear. He could hear if it was a cotton ball in his mix. He could hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what is that? And he was very meticulous. He knew what he wanted to hear, and he would get that sound. Same thing, Pac. He knew exactly what he wanted to say, and he was gonna get that out. And his drive and just like, I've never seen anybody with more work ethic than 2Pac, and somebody more or as serious about his music than Shock.
Yeah.
So that rubs off on you, right?
Yeah.
And it's also, I call it the gift and the curse, meaning that because I've been around this greatness, I know what greatness looks like. And if you don't have it, I recognize it right away. Right away. And it's fucked up because I don't want to, you know what I mean?
Shit on your dreams.
But people are like, oh man, I'm focused, I'm doing that. And I'm like, you're really not. Like this, you're not working as hard as you actually could be working.
Exactly.
Or you're not doing the things that, like, I've seen it be done.
Up close and personal.
I've seen it. Yeah,
I've
seen
this.
it. I know what. Yeah, I know
Exactly.
what it's supposed to look like. So, that part of it. But then, the gift of it is, I can self-manage and self-judge myself too.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm not doing as much as I could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know it, which makes me push and go.
Yeah, yeah. My last question is DJ Quick, being able to lock in with him. What were those sessions like over there with Quick?
Quick he's another one.
Yeah.
Like, and what do they say? The difference between genius and insanity. It's only genius if it works. If it don't work, you're crazy.
You're insane.
You crazy, but it's one and the same.
Yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah.
And that's what each of them, like, to be so great, you're off in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Shock and Quick have that same thing.
I hear you.
That because of quirkiness, real people.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Is that it?
Yeah, but yeah, Quick is crazy.
If these folks want to contact you, Money, how do they go about doing that, sir?
You can hit me on, I'm on Instagram.
Yeah.
But Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter all the same, at MoneyB69, like the position.
Y'all heard the man. Get down with the movement.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We are the freaks of the industry.
Money B. Yeah.
And then, for my mom and them on Facebook, is the Digital Underground or the Money B fan page. And then you also want to visit our website, which is the merch website, dumerch.com or digitalundergroundtshirts.com, and that's where you can actually get the new content project. That's Analogue Wishes, Digital Dreams. It's available now.
Come on.
Get it. The first 100 will be signed by me.
Ew.
It's a collector's item. You got to have it, but you can also get your cool Digital Underground merchandise.
That's hard. It's fine.
You know
That's
what I
fine. Y'all get down with the movement. B Hot Radio, shout it, Money B. We go. Gotcha.